If you consider yourself an anti-racist educator or would like to become one, stay tuned to hear 5 mistakes teachers make that perpetuate racism. Hi YouTube, welcome to the Anti-Racism Academy. My name is Brandi Blocker Anderson and I'm a triple Ivy League educated lawyer, teacher, activist, and the mother of an adorable 3-year-old named William. Like the intro said, in this video we're going to cover 5 mistakes that teachers make that perpetuate racism. Number 1. Thinking you're a better person and not racist because you teach Black, Indigenous, and other children of color. Okay, so believe it or not, just because you teach people of color doesn't make you virtuous or incapable of being racist. If you came into the profession with the goal of teaching kids of color to help save them,
students don't even know what a verb is,
or to become a better person, then you're engaging in a racist, paternalistic thinking. If you have not actively worked to learn about issues of race and racism and how to work against racism in your role as an educator, then your ignorance means that you are very much capable of causing damage to your students in the things you say or avoid saying, who you call on, who you reprimand, how, and for what offenses. Showing up isn't enough, and though you may be judged or even lauded by your friends and relatives for teaching those kids, you're not immune from the years of racist socialization you've likely received as a result of growing up in a racist society. Number 2, don't subscribe to a savior complex. When I was young, my family was poor, and like so many Americans, my mom struggled with addiction. As a result, we moved around a lot, and I went to 6 different public schools by the 5th grade. But one of my well-meaning white teachers called my mom and me in for a meeting. She explained to us that she had spoken to her husband and they'd agreed to allow me to come and live with them so they could adopt me and she could send me to a better school where she lived. So it was crazy presumptuous of her to think that I would want to leave my mom and my siblings to go live with her and her white family and go to presumably an all-white school. The point here is that your role in being a teacher is not to save your students. Number 3, centering whiteness in your lessons. Regardless of our student populations, failing to educate ourselves about race and racism will set us up to be inept at best and harmful at worst when it comes to these issues.
Right, to accept, you're not accepting the truth.
Why do I have to accept what you think is right?
You need to accept the
Why?
truth, not what I think is right, what's actually happening.
You said white people have been in control of everything. Who is the president of the United States right now?
A black man. With a white Congress, with a white Senate, with what everything else. He doesn't have the control of everything.
Go on.
This doesn't just come up in the context of whitewash history lessons, which are riddled with erasures, harmful stereotypes, and inaccuracies. It also comes up in failing to mention the contributions of Africans and Indigenous people in developing mathematics and science. It shows up in failing to teach or provide books authored by and about people of color. It comes up in the family lineage assignments and pretend you were a slave owner or founding father thought experiments. The point here is that teachers need to be mindful and intentional about the lessons they teach, the materials they use, and the way they help students contextualize these lessons. Number 4, lowering your expectations of students of color. When you don't push your students to achieve their highest potential because you don't believe in their potential, you're perpetuating white supremacy.
Lady, go off on kids, because they don't freaking get this crap. If you would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that. They need to learn face to face. You want kids to come in your class, you want them to get excited for this, you gotta come in here, you gotta make them excited. You want a kid to change and start doing better, you gotta touch his freaking heart. You gotta take this job serious. This is the future of this nation.
As educators, we wield so much power in our students' lives. We must be vigilant in avoiding any tendency to expect less or to avoid pushing our students to achieve their highest potential. Number 5, having a grit or no excuses mindset. In contrast to the last point, perpetuating a no excuses or grit mindset to students of color is inherently racist. The ideology argues that teachers should encourage and prioritize coping mechanisms and perseverance as a departure from the low expectations approach. First of all, it's highly presumptuous for privileged folks to purport to teach kids whose lives and families' lives have forced them to overcome and survive racial violence, discrimination, classism, and all other forms of marginalization anything about grit. Second, This argument assumes that it's the students' inability to overcome the structural oppression they face that holds them back, instead of the structural oppression they face. Third, this ideology is predicated on the racist idea of meritocracy, aka the idea that there's a level playing field, and if you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you can achieve the American dream. If you'd like to work through these issues in more depth, please subscribe to this channel, it really helps. Like the video, comment below with your thoughts, share it with your circles, and power to the people, fist bump that notification bell. I've been your host, Brandy Balker Anderson. Thank you so much for watching.